Hello, and welcome to my virtual classroom. My name is Olivia, and together we're going to explore the writing device of Stichomythia and how it is particularly used in Shakespeare. Stichomythia is defined by Oxford Languages as a dialogue in which two characters speak alternate lines of verse, used as a stylistic device in ancient Greek drama. Personally, I like to think of Stichomythia as a verbal duel between characters, or a boxing match, using words to throw punches and jabs, which crescendo in a dynamic resolution. You can find examples of Stichomythia in plays by Seneca, Aeschylus, Sophocles, and William Shakespeare. Now that you have an idea of what Stichomythia is, you may be able to discover other playwrights or screenwriters who use this ancient writing technique, even today. If you like the music I've used in this video, please visit the website www.bensound.com. On that note, let's change up the sound a bit and
what were I best to say? Her father's brother would be her lord. Or shall I say her uncle? Or he that slew her brothers and her uncles? Under what title shall I woo for thee, that God, the law, my honor, and her love can make seem pleasing to her tender years? And fair England's peace by this alliance, which she shall purchase with still lasting war. Say that the king which may command entreats, that at her hands which the king's king forbids. Say she shall be a high and mighty queen, to wail the tide as her mother doth. Say I will love her everlastingly. But how long shall that title ever last? Sweetly in force, and to her fair life's end. But how long fairly shall her sweet life last? So long as heaven and nature lengthens it. So long as hell and Richard likes of it. Say I, her sovereign, am her subject love. But she, your subject, loathes such sovereignty. Be eloquent in my behalf to her. An honest tale speeds best be plainly told. Then in plain terms tell her my loving tale. Plain and not honest is too harsh a style. Your reasons are too shallow and too quick. Oh no! My reasons are too deep and dead. Too deep and dead, poor infants in their grave. Harp not on that string, madam, that is past. Harp on it still shall I till heartstrings break. Now by my George, my garter and my crown, profaned, dishonored, the third usurped, I swear by nothing, for this is no oath. The George, profane, hath lost his holy honor. The garter, blemished, pawned his knightly virtue. The crown, usurped, disgraced his knightly glory. If something thou wilt swear to be believed, swear then by nothing that thou hast not wronged. Now by the world, 'tis full of thy foul wrongs. My father's death, thy life hath that dishonored. Then by myself, thyself misusest. Why then by God, God's wrong is most of all. Now let me go back. And I'm sorry that I'm reading both parts. But as we are in lockdown, gotta do what I gotta do. So if you think of this as like a boxing match, this is like the right when the bell rings and she's like getting ready to like throw that first punt, doing the footwork, guarding her face, getting ready, because right before this he had just asked her to woo her daughter on his behalf, which is disgusting, and foul. And she's trying to Earlier in the scene, Queen Margaret, the former queen whom Elizabeth replaced, said to Elizabeth asked Margaret how to curse, and she said Margaret says to use her emotions to inform the words that she chooses, I believe, or something. I'm doing Shakespeare very grave disservice by paraphrasing, but basically she's using what Margaret said earlier to curse. And it's the first real blessing that Margaret has ever given the painted queen, as Margaret calls her, the fake queen, on how to, really fight like Margaret, because Margaret was a warrior. In any case, I could just keep going on this, but let's go back to the Stichomythia. So this is the layup, or the lead up, or the lead in, and Elizabeth takes the piece that Richard says and counters it with war. Then he says and then you can also use Stichomythia in that you copy or imitate, similar to the na 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 na, but more of a complex, if you will, version of it. Say that the king, which may command, entreats, that at her hands, which is exactly the same, which the king's king forbids. So these two plays on words. She also copies the meter and the syntax and word uses. She's very smart in this moment, and she's incensed. If this were an actual boxing match, I think that she would actually be beating the crap out of Richard, and rightfully so, because Richard. In any case, I'm going to digress again. She shall be high and mighty queen, which Elizabeth at this moment could care less about being queen, and she isn't, because Queen Anne, or Lady Anne, had just been made queen, and then Richard killed her. So now there is no queen, which is why he's asking her to woo her daughter, Elizabeth, to woo her daughter. So if being a queen requires you to lose your husband, your sons, to a murderous toad, then you will just, and similarly to the Queen Margaret, who has just been lamenting and cursing people, Elizabeth has just been in this scene lamenting with the Duchess, and Margaret, just who was commenting on them. So it just shows that sovereignty doesn't necessarily have the happiest of endings. It's usually sovereignty, or the passing on of crowns, involves death. So there's going to be a certain amount of wailing and moaning, as Shakespeare likes to put it. So then, to counteract that, King Richard says, "Say I will love her everlastingly. But how long shall that title ever last?" And I can't remember if the folio actually uses this in quotes. This might be more like an editor put that into more modern usage. But she's playing on the everlasting, and ever, that he's going to probably kill her, because that's what Richard does. So she's just calling him out on that. Sweetly enforce into her fair life's end. But, truly, fairly, how long will that sweet life, this is actually life. So she, I don't know why, I'm painting, that's why. So this word is actually life. So she's also using life to life and last. To say, I can call you out on your game, dude. Yeah. Sorry. So long as heaven and nature lengthens it. So long as hell, exactly the same, and Richard to nature. So if she's going to use the opposite, using antithesis, so nature, the opposite of nature would be, I guess, death, destruction, the opposite of life, the opposite of everything that is organic. So everything that is inorganic, foul, and she plays on the word lengthen and likes, or lengthens and likes, because he's just a big douchebag. Sorry, I was trying not to say, but he really is. And yeah, say I, which is interesting because that's stressed. If you scan it, her sovereign am her subject love, but she your subject, meaning that who a king or queen rules over, loathes such sovereignty. So basically saying that, well, not basically, just saying that, she loathes you. She hates you. She'll never love you. And he's getting frustrated with her at this point. Be eloquent in my behalf to her. An honest tale speeds best being plainly told. Yeah, pretty much calling out him out on his lies. Then in plain terms tell her my loving tale. Plain and not honest is too harsh a style. Plain to plain, honest, honest, too harsh a style. I mean, if you really go over this, I mean, I could keep going. But there's a lot of words being, she goes back to what she said. So he's actually starting to use it on her out of frustration, I think. And here he really truly shows his true, he's not playing the politician anymore. The snake tongue is coming out. Your reasons are too shallow and too quick. Just like, just heading up to here with this woman that's just like punching him in the face with words. Oh no, which is then Elizabeth losing her curse, her ability to curse to her emotions. And here by the colon you can see that, or the semicolon, that this is a different beat or unit, or not a beat or unit, a different, this might be a springboard into something else where she again grieves and laments her sons. So for a moment she loses her oomph and strength. And then Richard says, "Get over it, lady." That is the past. And then she goes back on it. Harp on it, still my heartstrings break. Now by my George, my garter and my crown, profaned, dishonored, and the third usurped, I swear by nothing, for this is no oath. And then you can see pretty much, if you go back, then she's just cutting them down, line by line, word by word. This is where she would like putting him down on the mat. And these are actually shared lines, which would be, where this would be over here. So, so like there. Does that make sense? I'm sure you've seen it before. So that's where it's rapid fire. And where then the Stichomythia, you can feel the rhythm and the intensity of the
the scene getting to a boiling point. And then Elizabeth has a long speech at this end. So hopefully